here we're going to look at difference of cubes, which is somewhat similar to difference of squares, except that you have perfect cubes instead of perfect squares. What do perfect cubes mean? Stuff that you can write as something to the third power. I would suggest about this formula too, when you're working on problems and taking notes, write it down. I wouldn't necessarily expect you to memorize it, so say if you get a knowledge check that has a difference of cubes question on it, it would be good to have this written down. You basically just reference the formula, and so your main thing on the one we're going to do here is figuring out what's actually to the third power. So u to the third is definitely u to the third. 64, and you can fiddle with your calculator or try a couple, is the same as 4 to the third. So why do I care about that? I'm trying to figure out, for my formula purposes, what do I substitute for a and b. So then I just follow the formula. There's a slightly different one for minus and plus. So this is minus, makes everything else plus. So wherever there's an a, I'm going to put a u. So u minus 4. Wherever there's a b, I'm going to put a 4. So then a is u squared, and this is u times 4, which probably looks a little nicer if I just write it as 4u. And then my last one is b squared. B was 4, so 4 squared is 16. So here's a factored version of this. So it's essentially just following the formula. All right, let's try another one, maybe one that has a plus. We'll try 27 plus 8w to the third. So notice this is the plus, so there's two different versions of this formula, one for plus, one for minus. They don't differ a lot though. If it's plus here, it means this first one's plus, which means this one has to be minus. So we get the correct things to cancel out. Okay, so in this one, 27 is the same as 3 to the third. And then 8 is the same as 2 to the third. So picture that whole term is to the third. So 2w to the third would be 8w to the third. So now we can just decide everywhere where there's an a, we'll put a 3. And everywhere where there's a b, we'll put a 2w. So this will be 3 plus 2w, so a plus b. Then a squared, so 3 squared is 9. And then minus these two terms times each other, so 3 times 2w is 6w. And then be a little careful on this one. This is b squared, so 2w squared, which means it's the whole thing squared. Like this. So 2w squared means 2w times 2w, which is 4w squared. So essentially just don't forget the coefficient is part of that squared also. So you end up with 4w squared.